Welcome to my week 5 video. I wanted to spend a little bit more time on one article in particular, and that is the Healthy Bodies Discourse article by Webb et al. And the reason being is because I thought it'd be prudent to use this information because I don't have a full grasp on the material provided, but I want to use it as a baseline so that I can grow in my knowledge of, for example, some of these discourses, as well as the interaction of the techniques of power on these different discourses, more so for my current context as well as my future context as a teacher, and within the community and within the student population actually here at the university. And I wanted to read something in particular from page 355, and it talks about how this power, and how Foucault, I believe I pronounced his name right, was describing power as not something about what power is, but how it operates and how it's historically and concretely, and how we actually use it governing certain individuals, intentionally and unintentionally. And I want to use this as an opportunity that I can start to reframe some of these principles and use it in a way to help people learn how to be healthy, as opposed to using it in a manipulative way for, potentially different purposes, such as, like, for example, the obesity epidemic paper, right? And trying to put all that onus on the individual as opposed to providing an opportunity for them in an environment to support them. And so I'm just going to flip the phone around so you can actually see what I created. And once again, bear in mind, I don't have a full grasp on the material yet, and I'm definitely open to suggestions, and I want to hear and have some opportunity to have a great understanding of the implications of these techniques of power and the interaction they have with these discourses. So just bear with me a moment. Okay, so what you see here is I created this kind of a creative description of this Healthy Bodies discourse. And what you notice are a few things here. Is first and foremost, you have this target objective. And essentially what that is the individual who is adjusting these parameters in order to create an optimal environment for the individuals that they're impacting, whether it's community or the different demographics, etc. And then down here, I have the 8 techniques of power, okay? You have regulation, normalization, totalization, classification, distribution, exclusion, surveillance, and then individualism. Once again, I do not fully understand how these 4 below, represented by the hands, impact as much as these 4, because I do know that in the article, Webb et al. Discussed about how these 4 in the middle here have a greater impact, and then these 4 below are supporting the above. So I'm going to do a little more research on that for my future, or my research paper and the final project. But I wanted to just kind of briefly go through a couple of these key points here, and that is, first of all, you notice that these hands basically can have an impact on these 4 techniques of power. So for example, if we're going to regulate or normalize certain things, we can adjust them. So this hand, whether it's any of these hands, can push up this regulation. And you can see how it has gears on here on both. And it can start to shift that discourse to a different degree. Okay, right? And then if we want to change that as well, the above, to more of that social discourse, we can go up to here. And then the hand can also shift it up into that Healthy Bodies discourse as well, okay? And you can start to shift it from more of a different focus area, ergonomics, environment, etc., okay? And then each hand can adjust any of these based on the need, okay? Now you notice that some of the gears are bigger and smaller, and I did that as in the hope that I'm aware that, I think normalization and classification are probably two of the more powerful techniques of power, where we can start to where certain people manipulate these things in order to achieve certain results with their certain demographic they're affecting, by putting them in certain groups, for example, and I'm sure there's a lot of biases towards that, and hence the reason why it's a bigger gear. It has more torque, it has more power to influence, and I just thought that was more pertinent in my particular context at the moment. So essentially I wanted to play around with that a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm going to definitely adjust this and develop it further, but I just thought it'd be kind of a fun, creative way to represent my thoughts on paper of how I view these discourses and how I hope to grow in this area as well. So thank you once again for checking this out. Please leave some comments. And once again, God bless. I hope you have a good week, and I'm looking forward to talking further with you. Bye.